Jacksonville rapper Yungeen Ace arrested by Jacksonville Beach police around midnight.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We have people that are always watching.
Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud.
Jacksonville authorities just dropped a bombshell that could end Yungeen Ace's run in the game for good. Official report from the police department stated Jacksonville hip-hop artist Yungeen Ace faces imminent arrest in 2026. Law enforcement has connected multiple criminal incidents throughout the region directly to Yungeen Ace and his ATK crew. A potential RICO case is being built. The situation spiraled when details surfaced during the Julio Fulio murder proceedings. Someone from the inner circle flipped. According to media coverage, a witness present during Fulio's final hours at the party has come forward, disclosing her romantic involvement with Trayvon Bullard, who is Yungeen Ace's sibling. Word on the street is that Alicia Andrews' testimony in court might be the domino that triggers a full ATK RICO indictment.
Some point when you were younger, did you date someone who was associated with a rapper by the name of Yungeen Ace?
Yeah.
What is Yungeen Ace's real name?
Keontae.
Is that Keontae Bullard?
Mm-hmm.
And who were you dating that was related to Mr. Bullard?
Trayvon.
How is Trayvon Bullard related to Keontae Bullard?
They're brothers.
When did you date him?
In 2018.
And did something happen to him?
Yeah, he passed away.
When did he pass away?
June 5th, 2018.
And how did he pass away?
He got...
Was that a part of this rival?
I'm assuming.
This development has Yungeen Ace shook to his core. In response, an announcement came out revealing that every single show Yungeen Ace had lined up for this month has been called off. There's two ways to read this situation. Either Yungeen Ace is bracing himself for federal charges and getting his affairs in order, or the feds are already making moves to drain his revenue streams before hitting him with indictment. By cutting off his touring money, they could be setting him up to struggle when it comes time to hire quality legal representation.
Jacksonville police, I don't know how they be doing it, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my show? Why y'all trying to money? Yeah, man, I try my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't with y'all. Y'all canceled all my shows, but I just had a show in Temple. Y'all got my show canceled in Temple. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. Y'all canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me?
All of this stems from the ongoing investigation into who actually carried out the hit on Fulio. Investigators uncovered evidence showing that Yungeen Ace sent a mocking meme to one of the convicted shooter's devices immediately following the murder, basically clowning Fulio right after he got taken out.
State presented a picture from Gathrigh's cell phone taken one day after the murder, showing a bottle of Don Julio. The detective testified that, based on knowledge, this represents an insult to the rapper Julio Fulio.
That piece of evidence gave Jacksonville PD all the ammunition they needed to publicly name Yungeen Ace in their statements, a move that's going to go down as one of the most catastrophic blunders in hip-hop history. Authorities went as far as sending a direct message to Yungeen Ace, basically saying they're locked in on him, and it's only a matter of time before they come knocking.
It was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6th block. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud.
Once that news hit the airwaves, Yungeen Ace's mentions got flooded with tags from everybody. What happened next was wild. Dude started losing it. Yungeen Ace is doing everything he can to hide the fact ATK is a gang. Ace even doubled down by dropping an Instagram video trying to distance himself from any gang affiliation whatsoever.
Say no more ATK, it ain't no more. Talking about Niggas don't do shit. Niggas don't do shit. Niggas tripping. Everybody always got shit to say. These niggas. When it's time for the Lord to be paid, niggas be at. Got all this shit to say. Where the niggas be at though? Niggas need to get buried. When the time to spend that money, where the to be? Always got shit to say, but don't be on shit, man. They don't get no feet wet or nothing, man. You niggas be talking, man. What's wrong with these, man? Talk about don't talk like me. Don't get them, man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more.
Dissolving ATK while you're already under federal scrutiny and getting called out by Jacksonville law enforcement? That's definitely not the play. Still, Young and Ace attempted damage control by hitting the interview circuit, hoping to clean up his public image. But that strategy backfired when DJ Academics put him on the spot during one of these sit-downs, straight up asking if he was behind what happened to Julio Fulio.
I mean, some people feel like you were behind that.
I'm sure, but people feel like I'm behind a lot, but I'm not. I'm not behind. I'm working. I'm grinding every day. I'm grinding. I got a family. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm trying to be big. I'm trying to be big.
Law enforcement wasn't buying what Young and Ace was selling, though. They saw right through his tactics and decided to turn up the pressure. Sheriff TK Waters himself stepped into the spotlight to issue a public warning directly aimed at Young and Ace and the ATK gang.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We have people that are always watching.
Based on newly released police documents from 2026, Young and Ace had a significant hand in Julio Fulio's death. Investigators even found that one of the suspects reported back to Young and Ace about Fulio's last words and other critical details. To grasp the full picture, we gotta break down the official police report on Fulio's murder, because the information they revealed is absolutely insane. Julio Fulio, born June 21st, 1998, got ambushed by opposing gang members early Sunday morning down in Tampa. What should have been a birthday celebration weekend turned into a nightmare, all because of social media exposure. Fulio and his people secured an Airbnb rental for the weekend. The moment they pulled up to the spot, Fulio made the fatal mistake of posting their location on his Instagram story, a post that caught Young and Ace's attention. The Airbnb party barely made it past the 2-hour mark. Fulio kept feeding his Instagram, showing off everyone who came through and everything going down at the function. On the flip side, his enemies were watching every move and plotting their next step. This became Fulio's first in a series of deadly mistakes. An hour after that, cops rolled up to the Airbnb and contacted the property owner, who promptly had Fulio and his whole squad removed from the Florida rental. Without missing a beat, Fulio went right back to Instagram broadcasting his plans. He shared a flyer for a club nearby, telling everyone to slide through while the poster literally displayed the club's full address. Man was basically competing for a world record and giving up his location to his ops in a single weekend, all while his millions of followers watched. When he made it to the club, he committed his most fatal error yet. This time around, he posted his exact seating location inside the venue. This handed his enemies all the time they needed to mobilize, strategize, and position themselves across the street, with binoculars trained on the second-floor lounge area. According to sources connected to the streets, Fulio became a target that night because Young and Ace had placed a $10,000 bounty on him. Striking on the 23rd held major significance for Young and Ace and his opposition, but we'll circle back to that. After Fulio and his crew wrapped up at the club, everyone congregated in the parking lot while his manager scrambled to find new accommodations for the group. The manager located a Holiday Inn just blocks away, and the whole crew started heading that direction. What Fulio didn't realize was that a vehicle packed with rival gang members sat waiting directly across the street. When they reached the Holiday Inn, witnesses say everything seemed calm at first. The manager headed inside to secure multiple rooms, while everyone else hung around the parking lot. That peace shattered when 2 cars loaded, with shooters pulled into the lot, cutting off any escape route. Gunfire erupted immediately. At the same time, 3 individuals came rushing through the hedges with a single mission: locate Fulio and finish the job.
3 exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun into this barrage of fire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident. Let's look at this video. This is at the hotel.
The incident blew up across the internet within just 2 hours. That same day after Fulio's death, Young and Ace released a diss track aimed directly at him. But things got even more disturbing. Police discovered footage of Young and Ace on a live stream with his mom the very next day, and they were literally mocking and laughing about Fulio's murder.
Hey, chat, y'all know what's going on though. Y'all stop playing with us, Talil. You talking for churches, but you know what the fuck going on, boy, for get on your boy.
And we want to get that down. Julio, whatever. Cheers.
Boosie is in hot water with the feds. Him and J. Prince Jr. Mob tied.
When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and kill the dude. What the hell, my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man.
Federal investigators are looking into Boosie for supposedly orchestrating Duke the Jeweler's murder by luring him to a fixed dice game with J. Prince Jr. in Houston. But hold up, let me walk you through how this entire scheme unfolded. This is going to leave you stunned. And listen, before we dive into this insane situation, go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe, because this content is going to be intense. For real, this involves deep street politics that fly under most people's radar. We're discussing organized criminal activity masked as hip-hop culture, straight up. Now, let me tell you who Duke the Jeweler actually was, because dude was far more than just another Chicago jeweler. Duke was legitimately among the Midwest's most prestigious jewelers. We're discussing someone who earned his status through hard work, serving clients ranging from up-and-coming rappers to professional athletes. Duke receives a phone call from Boosie requesting a custom jewelry commission. Duke had experience with rapper clients, but Boosie represented something bigger. We're discussing a Louisiana icon with authentic street credentials. Getting a business call from Boosie is the kind of opportunity that could elevate your entire jewelry enterprise. Here's where things become questionable, though. Boosie insisted Duke travel to Houston rather than conducting business in Chicago or Louisiana. He mentioned this massive Labor Day weekend gathering, describing it like numerous celebrities would attend looking for custom jewelry. Boosie created this vision of Duke networking and securing several major commissions. What's wild is, Duke was genuinely enthusiastic about the trip. He shared updates on social media about the Houston visit and the business prospects ahead. This guy was completely unaware he was heading directly into a trap that would end his life. Now let me reveal J. Prince Jr.'s entire scheme, because this goes much deeper than most understand. Listen, J. Prince Jr. has been executing this identical con for years, and it's so methodical, it's genuinely disturbing. This guy has perfected the robbery of successful individuals into a science. Real talk. Here's the complete breakdown of how this operation functions. Initially, J. Prince Jr. selects his marks, typically visiting rappers, athletes, or prosperous business people arriving in Houston. He leverages his industry relationships to discover who's traveling to the city, their financial status, and what valuables they're carrying. Next is the contact phase. J. Prince Jr. doesn't simply ambush people. That's low-level stuff. He presents himself as a Houston street icon eager to welcome out-of-towners. He'll message you online, arrange mutual acquaintances for introductions, whatever's necessary to appear trustworthy. After establishing their comfort level, the actual scheme kicks in. He'll tour them around Houston, showcase the city, connect them with his associates. He creates this atmosphere like they're joining an elite circle, when truthfully, he's just establishing trust before the betrayal. The strategy was straightforward. Allow Duke some initial wins to boost his confidence, then deploy the loaded dice to drain his bankroll. They needed him comfortable wagering substantial amounts before completely emptying his pockets and shipping him home to Chicago. However, their scheme hit a snag. Word on the street is Duke somehow ended up with legitimate dice rather than the rigged ones. Perhaps someone mixed them up, perhaps the switch happened accidentally. Regardless of what occurred, Duke began winning with honest dice. Duke walked away with over $645,000 that evening. That's completely ridiculous. He dominated the table, collecting cash from everyone present, including some extremely dangerous individuals unaccustomed to losing their own cash. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense as Duke's winning streak continued. These guys were furious because their own hustle was blowing up in their faces. They had rigged tables and weighted dice, yet none of it mattered when Duke rolled with legitimate dice. Bootsy positioned himself directly behind Duke throughout the entire session, and observers caught him repeatedly whistling. Initially, people assumed he was just messing around, but it later became clear those whistles served as coded signals. He was relaying messages to others in the space, likely coordinating their response to the unfolding situation. The remarkable thing is Duke maintained a gracious attitude the whole time. Despite raking in all that cash, he never acted arrogant or flaunted his success in their faces. Yet his victories ultimately sealed his fate. Once Duke swept the table at the dice game, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. These guys transformed from hospitable hosts to stone-cold predators in an instant. There was zero chance they'd allow some visiting jeweler to leave town with over $500,000 of their cash. Straight up. Based on eyewitness accounts and street talk, a full deliberation took place once the game concluded. Boosie, J. Prince Jr., and their associates assembled to strategize reclaiming their losses. This wasn't an impulsive reaction. This was a premeditated assassination scheme. Knowing Duke planned to attend Boosie's show the following evening gave them the window to orchestrate everything. They tracked his patterns, identified his accommodations, and engineered the ideal attack. These guys approached murder like a corporate operation. They deployed multiple surveillance to monitor Duke's activities all day. When they cornered Duke in that parking structure, he refused to go down easily. Duke attempted to protect himself, but the numbers and firepower were against him. The assailants arrived equipped for combat, while Duke was simply attempting to reach his vehicle and return to his lodging. The assault happened swiftly and savagely. They riddled Duke with bullets, seized all his winnings from the game along with his jewelry collection, then vanished into the darkness. This is when Boosie's award-deserving act commences. Immediately following Duke's assassination, Boosie shifts into complete performance mode. This guy produces not just one, but several recordings attempting to separate himself from the incident. He appears on camera expressing his sorrow, praising Duke's character, and claiming this kind of brutality contradicts his style.
Some dudes tried to rob him. See some dudes that tried to rob me and walked off by himself.
Boosie also attempted to portray Duke as having lost cash at the dice game, when everybody's aware Duke scored massive that evening. He claimed Duke wasn't bothered by his losses. But how could someone be upset about losing when they actually pocketed over $600,000? The fabrications are completely illogical. What if I revealed that Boosie's account of the post-concert events continuously shifts? That's genuinely sketchy as hell. Initially, he claimed Duke departed solo. Later, he mentioned Duke had companions. Then the narrative shifted yet again. Honest people maintain consistent story. The most repulsive aspect of Boosie's charade was his attempt to exploit Duke's murder for self-victimization. He discussed online accusations against him, complaints about unfair treatment, and how everything was impacting his psychological well-being. Dude, someone's life was taken, and you're focused on your public image online.
Y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We get fucking money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man.
The phony emotion displayed in those recordings was so transparent, it only heightened suspicion. Authentic mourning doesn't resemble a staged act. Boosie was obviously putting on a show for the lens. His excessive efforts to appear blameless actually made him seem culpable as hell. Supporters uncovered footage showing Boosie's nephew exiting the venue moments before Duke was gunned down. That's absolutely wild. They compiled security recordings, online posts, and eyewitness testimonies to construct a timeline revealing precisely how the killing unfolded. The online sleuths also uncovered that Duke's Louis Vuitton bag containing his jewelry was located at Boosie's residence. Like, how do you justify that? Boosie's explanation was Duke requested he safeguarded during the game, but following Duke's assassination, why wasn't that bag returned to his relatives? Why was it casually placed at Boosie's place like it was his property? Online users also began linking this incident to other questionable situations involving J. Prince Jr. and his associates. They identified recurring themes of visiting artists being robbed or murdered following dice games in Houston. This wasn't an isolated incident. This was component of a larger scheme, and this is where Boosie revealed his authentic character. After the internet essentially cracked the entire case and revealed all the proof, Boosie's entire attitude transformed dramatically. Rather than maintaining the mourning companion act, this guy became furious that people uncovered what actually transpired. And listen, that response revealed everything we needed to understand about his culpability. Boosie began creating hostile recordings labeling people online investigators and armchair critics. He was infuriated that supporters were piecing together clues and revealing the reality. But dude, if you're genuinely blameless, why are you angry at people attempting to secure justice for Duke? That's genuinely insane conduct right there. A blameless individual would encourage people to investigate and locate the actual perpetrators. A blameless individual would appreciate that people value Duke enough to pursue the facts. But Boosie was more focused on self-preservation than obtaining justice for Duke. Boosie also began attempting to undermine the proof that supporters had uncovered. He would create recordings attempting to rationalize the call logs, the physical evidence, the eyewitness testimony, but his justifications were never coherent. When you must work that intensely to dismiss proof, it typically indicates guilt. The reality that Boosie devoted more energy criticizing people pursuing justice than he did grieving Duke's passing revealed everyone what his genuine concerns were. He valued his public standing more than he valued a murdered individual. And listen, even Boosie's own relatives began opposing him. Here's where the narrative becomes even more unbelievable. Boosie's own sibling, TQ, stepped forward claiming he possesses documentation proving Duke was betrayed. When your own family member accuses you of homicide, you understand the circumstances are severe, straight up. TQ and Boosie have been feuding for years regarding finances and professional arrangements. Based on legal filings, TQ supposedly embezzled over $360,000 from Boosie's account and assisted one of Boosie's artists in signing with a competing label secretly. However, the Duke circumstances prompted TQ to vocalize in an unprecedented manner. He began suggesting on social platforms that he understood the authentic narrative about what transpired with Duke and that Boosie wasn't as blameless as he was claiming. TQ stated he possessed proof that could reveal the entire conspiracy.
You think niggas wake up and just choose Boosie to steal from? You don't think there's better people to steal from? Like, it's not fucking happening. Boosie is not a victim, dog. Like, that nigga ain't no... Boosie is a fucking villain.
This is where the narrative becomes completely insane. Some individuals believe the Duke incident is linked to what occurred with Takeoff from Migos. Both scenarios involve gambling sessions in Houston, both connected to J. Prince Jr.'s circle, and both concluded with accomplished young individuals losing their lives over cash and valuables. The similarities are too striking to dismiss, honestly. Promising successful artists arrive in Houston, receive invitations to these elite gambling sessions. Complications arise regarding finances or disrespect, and they wind up murdered. That's not coincidental. That's a recurring pattern of predatory conduct. All right, let's break down what happened with Yella Beezy. Things are getting complicated fast. A filing came through on the 22nd that changed the trajectory of this entire situation. The document centers around a 404(b)(2) motion connected to allegations being used as supporting evidence. Essentially, this legal maneuver is attempting to block the state from introducing or suggesting any previous conduct that doesn't meet the legal threshold under TRF 43 and 404(b)(2). Beezy's attorneys submitted this request to the court, demanding they prevent prosecutors from bringing prior actions into the proceedings. They're pushing for this protection to extend across jury selection, trial proceedings, and both opening and closing arguments unless the court specifically permits it otherwise. This is a calculated move to restrict what can be presented. The motion goes further, requesting the court establish clear guidelines regarding how evidence gets introduced and utilized. That part deserves closer examination, because things start getting really interesting there. The documentation reveals something significant. Beezy faced capital charges on March 18th. That's serious. However, the situation takes an unexpected turn. When the state submitted discovery materials, there were statements from law enforcement and certain witnesses suggesting Beezy might have connections to particular incidents. But here's the critical part. There's no actual evidence establishing any link to those situations, or whatever evidence exists cannot legally be admitted. This case continues to escalate in complexity. It's filled with secondhand information piled on top of more secondhand information. Beezy's legal team worries the prosecution intends to reference unsolved feud-related cases during the guilt phase of trial. These are situations never officially resolved, yet prosecutors might attempt to use them anyway. That's problematic. But what follows is even more troubling. The motion references something documented on September 25th, 2018, involving Roy Lee. According to the paperwork, an unknown individual contacted Roy Lee attempting to arrange some kind of event. Initially straightforward enough. Then, circumstances shifted dramatically when Roy Lee was apparently in a vehicle near 12,835 Preston Road in Dallas. That's when the situation escalated significantly. This part opens numerous questions. Who initiated the contact? What actually transpired that day? How does it connect to Beezy's present charges? During that incident, someone in a hoodie approached the car and damaged the driver's side door. Roy Lee sustained an injury to his leg and was transported to the hospital for medical attention. He couldn't identify his attacker. After his release on September 30th, 2018, medical professionals advised him to rest and avoid strenuous activity. Instead, he performed at a comedy venue in Paris, Texas. Shortly after, on October 13, 2018, tragedy occurred. Roy Lee died in his hotel room from a blood clot that traveled from his injured leg to his heart. That's devastating. Before his death, Roy Lee reportedly informed investigators about a year-long conflict with Beezy. According to him, the tension started following a club altercation in 2018, where one of Beezy's security personnel allegedly struck him during the commotion. Roy Lee claimed he was assaulted at that club by PMG, a group affiliated with Beezy. Since that event, friction existed between them. The situation escalated further. He'd apparently been attempting to organize a charity boxing competition with Beezy to resolve their differences. When the incident occurred, speculation emerged connecting it to their existing animosity. Law enforcement received information suggesting Kais Barrett, known as KD, and identified as Beezy's cousin, potentially participated, and that Beezy allegedly transferred $4,000 to him following his prison release. However, when authorities investigated thoroughly, discovered insufficient evidence linking the feud to the specific incident. Officials acknowledged rumors and speculation existed, but nothing substantiated in concrete terms. Roy Lee wasn't some street operator. He was a comedian known for entertainment. While he came from a challenging neighborhood in Dallas, that circumstance alone doesn't automatically place him in criminal activity. Had he been involved, he likely would have admitted it, though that would constitute what some call dry snitching, which most people avoid. Here's what raises questions for everyone. How did law enforcement even learn about the supposed $4,000 transferred to KD? Where did that information surface? Perhaps through social media posts or other means. Nobody knows definitively, but it's not uncommon for individuals to support family members transitioning out of incarceration. People don't leave prison with financial resources, so assisting a relative with modest funds isn't unusual. Let's move to the subsequent shocking incident. This one's equally disturbing. It involves Beezy and occurred on October 14, 2018. According to documentation, Beezy was operating a vehicle on the Sam Rabin Tollway when another car pulled alongside and discharged firearms. Multiple bullets struck his vehicle. He managed to exit traffic before paramedics took him to the hospital. That's frightening. Beezy stated to police he couldn't identify the shooter. Detective Howard from Dallas PD later contacted a detective in Louisville, mentioning that Beezy had recently finalized a significant recording contract and suggesting this shooting might connect to the existing tension with Roy Lee. Yet no official suspects came forward. When individuals broadcast information online, mentioning names, arguing publicly, documenting everything, it becomes straightforward for investigators to construct timelines and connections. According to Detective Howard, Roy Lee maintained habits of publicly calling out music, industry figures, supposedly to gain attention and raise his own visibility. But honestly, that assertion feels like overreach. Not everyone pursues attention. Then, the situation intensifies. The vehicle's registration traced back to Shaw Griffin, reportedly connected to Melvin Noble, better known as Mo 3. That's a significant figure in Dallas. The document implies Mo 3 might have had some involvement, basically indicating his associates could have participated. Interestingly, approximately 2 years earlier, Beezy and Roy Lee experienced that club incident, after which things seemingly quieted down. Silence continued until Beezy secured his record deal, when hostilities reportedly resumed escalating. Roy Lee allegedly started publicly revisiting their earlier conflict, possibly attempting to capitalize on renewed attention. Beezy informed detectives he held no desire to press charges if someone faced arrest. He preferred keeping the matter private and managing resolution independently. That's maintaining street credibility. Consider how serious this could have become. Had Mo 3's associates been definitively tied to the shooting, circumstances might have developed dramatically differently. The vehicle belonged to someone connected to Mo 3, yet no evidence proved he was operating it. Consequently, authorities lacked sufficient evidence establishing culpability. Presumably, when police questioned him, he exercised his right to silence. Remaining quiet became his choice, because once individuals begin speaking, circumstances become distorted rapidly. Staying silent leaves investigators struggling to assemble evidence themselves. And that's simply how situations develop. Your responsibility isn't constructing their prosecution. Now circumstances become increasingly complex. Let's examine February 6, 2018, an incident involving Darius Moore, recognized as Trap Boy Freddy. Reports indicate he and 3 companions were exiting a party vehicle at a residence on 4906 Rain Avenue in Dallas, when a vehicle suddenly appeared and unleashed gunfire, wounding multiple individuals. That's shocking. The men couldn't identify their assailant and declined pursuing charges. However, here's the complication. Rumors circulated that Beezy possessed some indirect connection, with speculation suggesting Trap Boy Freddy orchestrated the entire situation. Yet, investigators never uncovered any concrete evidence connecting Beezy to that situation. Nothing substantiated. How did that information even surface? If everything derives from street gossip and hearsay, that constitutes weak evidence for building a prosecution. You cannot construct a credible case on rumors and conjecture. Someone must have initiated that rumor circulation, though. That's precisely why Trap Boy Freddy subsequently faced questioning. Officials wanted exploring potential connections between him and that incident. The prosecution aims presenting all this information to jurors, stacking incident after incident like mounting accusation. Their narrative frames Beezy as connected to Roy Lee's situation, with his cousin potentially participating and him subsequently facing attacks from Mo 3 associates. They want jurors questioning why he didn't cooperate with police if innocent. But sometimes silence doesn't signify guilt. It simply means avoiding deeper entanglement in unnecessary circumstances. They're attempting introducing yet another case, creating 3 separate situations, but the complications don't conclude there. Let's examine what transpired in 2019 involving James "Bubba" Browning. According to reports, Browning occupied an exterior area at the Dixon Grocery Convenience Store, located at 3752 Dixon Avenue in Dallas, when disaster happened. He wasn't conducting transactions inside. He was simply standing outside, existing peacefully. Surveillance captured 2 masked individuals exiting a van and discharging rifles at Browning before departing. Investigators subsequently discovered Browning had formerly been arrested alongside Joseph Arnold and Deshaun Smith, both regarded as persons of interest in a separate investigation involving Marlo Marshall. All 3 allegedly worked with Marshall previously. The situation became increasingly tangled. A witness told officers they recognized one surveillance footage figure as resembling Arnold and Smith, and mentioned street talk suggesting Marshall had received threats before his passing. Following that, Arnold faced arrest regarding Marshall's case. Here's where Beezy's name resurfaces. Another witness reportedly shared information with detectives about street discussions, indicating Trap Boy Freddy and Beezy maintained problems with Mo 3. People began suggesting an organized plan existed against him. Yet here's the contradiction. No evidence substantiates Beezy's involvement in Mo 3's death. The state appears contradicting its own argument. Consider it. They're suggesting Trap Boy Freddy faced targeting by Beezy's group. Then supposedly Freddy and his associates targeted Mo 3, with both Freddy and Beezy allegedly placing bounties on him. But if accurate, why was Trap Boy Freddy summoned as a witness instead of a defendant? That lacks coherence. The narrative keeps shifting contradictorily. Let's transition to another investigation. This one occurred September 29th, 2020. It concerned a man named DeJuan Spikes, who suffered injuries at a residence located at 6910 Roe Hill Road in Dallas. The location appeared operating as a distribution hub. Authorities discovered currency, controlled substances, and even a short rifle at the location. The individual responsible turned out to be Randall Yungeen Hunter. Surveillance captured his Dodge Charger departing the vicinity immediately following the incident. Investigators examined his mobile communications and discovered information and proof connecting him directly to the situation. He eventually acknowledged guilt and received a 20-year sentence. That's an extended period. Rumors subsequently emerged claiming Beezy and Spikes maintained some previous disagreement. But once again, no evidence suggested Beezy participated in what occurred or maintained involvement with Spikes' operations. Simply another claim lacking substantiation. Just when intensity seemed maximized, another situation requires examination. The July 6, 2020 incident involved Robert Gaia. Based on reports, Gaia experienced critical injuries while driving on Central Expressway. Robert Gaia survived the assault, though he sustained significant neurological injuries. According to his companion's statement to Dallas detectives, Gaia had been conducting a relationship with another individual without her awareness. She acknowledged placing a monitoring device on his vehicle, though it stopped functioning before the incident. She additionally mentioned Gaia's close associate had died in Oak Cliff merely 2 weeks prior, and she'd encountered a rap group possibly, referenced as Mo, or using the hashtag, who released music referencing that death. That's extraordinary. The companion told detectives Gaia maintained no gang membership and harbored no intentions regarding retaliation for his associate's death. He concentrated on music creation and personal matters. Another person named Rochelle Myers, who accompanied Gaia during the incident, told detectives the situation possibly connected to some disagreement existing within the rap community. Myers even displayed police with a YouTube video featuring Melvin Noble, recognized as Mo3, performing material supposedly referencing Drow and Duck. That recording, according to her, appeared connected to continuing disputes between various Dallas musicians. Then, based on the report, Myers continued stating that Darius Moore, known as Trap Boy Freddy, maintained friendship with Beezy and Gaia, had produced music alongside both individuals. Subsequently, Mo3 apparently released material referencing that situation, the one where Beezy experienced injury. It appeared everyone throughout the local music community was incorporating each other's conflicts into their recordings. However, detectives rejected Myers' interpretation. Detective Howard from DPD even communicated to Richardson PD officers that he disbelieved MO3 bore personal responsibility for the incident, despite MO3 apparently making references through his lyric. Ultimately, both related incidents remained without confirmed perpetrators. Additionally, another situation followed shortly thereafter, the September 7, 2020 incident concerning Trap Boy Freddy himself. Reports indicate he was at a filling station inflating his tires when a vehicle passed and discharged gunfire, striking him in the leg. Trap Boy Freddy couldn't identify his shooter and provided no vehicle description. He additionally resisted providing significant information to authority. Following hospitalization, that reaction doesn't surprise anyone. Several days after, on September 10, 2020, a Richardson PD detective became aware of the incident in Los Angeles and reached out to Detective Howard from DPD. The detective reported that Trap Boy Freddy and his associates maintained so many adversaries and conflicts with various individuals that establishing who was targeting whom became nearly impossible. That constitutes a striking acknowledgement. It demonstrates how complicated and unpredictable the environment had deteriorated. Here's the point where the prosecution's narrative becomes increasingly sensationalized. They're positioning Yella Beezy as some orchestrating figure, claiming he coordinated situations, arranged attacks against others, and himself experienced targeting from Mo3's associates. Fundamentally, prosecutors construct a portrayal depicting unending conflict and retaliation spanning Dallas musicians. According to their framework, if Beezy and Roy Lee harbored earlier animosity, it logically follows that Beezy might have subsequently pursued Mo3. But again, nothing substantiates this. Everything rests on documentary suggestions, not factual verification. The paperwork creates appearance of pattern, but nothing concretely establishes connection. Additionally, the prosecution's methodology seems genuinely questionable. It resembles a game determining disclosure timing and information revelation. You comprehend Beezy's team seeking delays, envision proceeding to trial, and discovering particulars that warranted knowledge months earlier. That establishes groundwork for mistakes and confusion. Ultimately, nobody wants presenting arguments to judges regarding information never previously clarified. Every component proves essential, and overlooking solitary details potentially revolutionizes jury perception completely. I comprehend frustration with commentary stating, "This trial continues indefinitely." Honestly, that criticism possesses validity. Multiple people feel this situation warranted resolution previously. However, simultaneously, the district attorney's department appears deliberately stalling, remaining passive rather than advancing momentum. Since no enforceable speedy trial requirement constrains them, they maintain unlimited timeline flexibility. That's precisely their approach. They're experiencing minimal pressure, pursuing aggressive sentencing if their prosecution foundation isn't absolutely reliable from currently accessible materials. The available proof doesn't provide prosecutors apparent advantage. Realistically, it makes DPD appear unmotivated. They possessed opportunities establishing arrests before escalation occurred this extensively, yet they apparently didn't prioritize speed. It's not resource shortage. Gang divisions, specialized teams, detectives, constables, state personnel, and municipal departments all theoretically maintain oversight responsibility. Yet, identical discord perpetually resurfaces. What's remarkable is how this street conflict discourse extends beyond merely performers and their organizations. It encompasses countless average citizens attempting displaying strength or sustaining relevance within that framework. It's a repeating mechanism continuously reinforcing itself while resources and public finances experience depletion. You've got multiple agencies concentrating effort on identical matters rather than meaningfully resolving fundamental problems. Should authorities truly desire accountability, they'd operate strategically, not simply detaining individuals contingent upon social connections or geographic origin. The community isn't requesting preferential treatment. They're seeking impartiality. The public genuinely should harbor frustration currently because circumstances develop spiraling uncontrollably. MO3, Trap Boy Freddy, and Yella Beezy all warranted comprehensive questioning, long preceding current severity. Sufficient warning indicators demanded earlier engagement. Certain individuals will argue it wouldn't have mattered, they wouldn't have cooperated anyway. Perhaps truthfully. Nevertheless, what that accomplishes involves pressuring everybody involved. It communicates that authorities observe circumstances. Understand, we recognize what's happening. Assume you're unobserved. Any misstep and you're reassuming scrutiny. That's how you convey municipal engagement. What creates confusion involves how frameworks perpetually enable progression this extensively before reacting, particularly when capital and authority consistently factor significantly. It experiences like specific situations attain recognition when politically or financially beneficial. This particular aspect generates substantial frustration because law enforcement departments merchandise narratives identically to everybody else. They absolutely recognize annual budgetary allocations. They're cognizant regarding which administrators require satisfaction maintaining overtime authorization or supplementary funding. Meanwhile, finances potentially redirected preventing violence or investigating historical situations get consumed addressing non-essential overtime and administrative work. Instead of intervening early, establishing firm boundaries, they await circumstances spiraling unmanageable, subsequently appearing astonished at developments.